The palace bells rang all morning. Nerina stood silently at the window of her chamber, watching as nobles flooded the gardens in colorful silks and satin. Banners fluttered in the wind, bearing the royal crest. The sun blazed high above, but her world felt gray. Prince's engagement celebration was today. He would wed the woman he believed saved him, the golden-haired princess from the neighboring kingdom. The same one who smiled sweetly at him, danced in his arms, and told the story that belonged to Nerina. She had no voice to correct the lie, no words to say, "It was me." Her legs ached with every step, each movement like dancing on glass. Yet she bore it all for a chance to be near him. But as the days passed, his affection grew more distant. Nerina had become little more than a shadow in the castle, an odd, silent girl who followed but never spoke. That night, she slipped out of the palace and walked to the edge of the cliffs overlooking the ocean. She sat alone, letting the wind whip her hair as the tide roared below. "Nerina." The voice was a whisper behind her. She turned to see 5 figures rising from the sea. Her sisters. Each one had eyes swollen from tears, but they smiled at the sight of her. Nerina rushed toward them, heart aching with longing. They embraced, their arms tangled like seaweed, their touch colder than she remembered. Something had changed in them. "You don't belong here," said Lyra, the eldest. "You still have a chance to come back." Nerina's eyes welled with tears. She shook her head and pointed to her throat. "We know," murmured Saran, her voice breaking. "We went to the Sea Witch." Nerina pulled back in shock. Fear flashed through her eyes. The Sea Witch's bargains were always steep. "She gave us this," said Meriel, holding out a gleaming silver dagger. Its hilt was carved with coral and bone, and the blade shimmered with dark enchantment. "If you plunge this into the prince's heart before sunrise, your tail will return. You'll be a mermaid again. You'll live." Nerina stared at the dagger. Her hands trembled. She said, "That's the only way to break the curse now," whispered Celine. "If you don't, you'll die at dawn. Turn to sea foam." "We gave her our hair," Lyra added. Nerina looked at them again. Each of her sisters had shorn locks, once flowing like kelp and pearls, now cropped to their shoulders or shorter. Tears spilled down Nerina's cheeks. "We love you, Nerina," Lyra said, brushing a strand from her face. "But you must choose. Him, or your life." The sisters dove back into the sea, leaving her alone with the dagger and an impossible decision. Nerina walked the quiet path back to the palace, the dagger hidden in her sash. The sky was turning violet. The stars blinked overhead. Every step cut like fire. She found Prince on the balcony, staring out at the stars. The princess had gone to rest, her laughter still echoing in the halls. He turned when he heard Nerina. "There you are," he said gently. "I was wondering where you'd gone." He reached for her hand. She let him take it. "I wish you could speak," he said softly. "There's something in your eyes, something familiar. I don't know why, but I feel I've known you longer than I have." Nerina's breath caught in her throat. He paused, looking away. "But she saved me. That's what they all say. And she's a princess. This is what's expected of me." He let go of her hand. Nerina reached for the dagger, fingers grazing the hilt. Her heart beat wildly. She looked at Prince again. At the man she loved. Could she do it? His face turned toward the moonlight, peaceful, trusting. No, she couldn't. Even if he never knew her. Even if he married another. She would rather die than stain her love with blood. At dawn, she returned to the cliffs. The sun rose slowly, gilding the ocean in gold. Her feet trembled, her body weak. She stepped to the edge. The sea called to her. And so did silence. The dagger slipped from her hands, falling into the waves below. She closed her eyes. The wind rushed past her ears as she leaned forward. And then, a light. Not sunlight. A glow. Soft. Gentle. From beneath the sea, something shimmered and rose. A figure, womanly, translucent, radiant like a spirit of water and wind, appeared before her, hovering above the waves. Nerina gasped. "You chose love over vengeance," the spirit said. Her voice was the sound of waves on the shore, of shells whispered through the tides. "You sacrificed your life rather than take another." The spirit touched Nerina's chest. "You have earned a soul." Suddenly, Nerina felt lighter. She looked down. Her feet faded into shimmer. Her skin glowed. "You will not become foam," the spirit said. "You will rise. There is more to your journey, little one." And as the morning sun bathed the sea, Nerina rose with the light, leaving behind the pain of the world, her voice lost but her soul found.